66 million years ago, an asteroid struck Earth, corrupting the planet and destroying nearly all life. So, you may be wondering, what's this got to do with the title of the video? Well, the truth is, absolutely nothing. I just wanted to start the episode off saying something cool, because God knows the rest of this episode isn't. Okay, let's start over. I like fan games, or more specifically, I love the passion that goes behind fan games. And, fortunately for people like me who love Sonic the Hedgehog, there's a crap ton of fan games out there based on the Blue Hedgehog. Sadly, half of them are .exe games. No, seriously, there are way too many games based on .exe. But, thankfully outside of .exe domain, there are some well-done Sonic fan games out there that pays tribute to both classic and modern eras of Sonic, such as Ultimate Flash Sonic, Sonic Utopia, and today's topic, Sonic Time Twisted. Let's do it! I first learned about this game thanks to Radical Solar. Living in the city! Da! Da! Da 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 da! I love you, Solar! When he played a demo for it, and luckily for me, the full game was released the next day, entirely for free. So, being really intrigued by what I saw, I decided to try it out. Like I said earlier, I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, have been since I was 9, and while I do like the 3D games, I honestly much more prefer his 2D side-scrolling games like the classic trilogy or the Rush series, so I was very happy to see a game that looked like it was trying to be authentic 2D classic Sonic experience. Created by Overbound Studio, development of this game has gone on for a long time, at least 12 years in the making, with the intention of being a fan sequel to the Genesis games and Sonic CD in terms of story and gameplay, while at the same time adding new, built from the ground up assets and improving upon the elements of the games, like with the special stages and time poles. While it was nice knowing that the game takes a lot of inspiration from the Genesis games, I'll admit that at first I was worried it also takes a lot of inspiration from Sonic CD and brings back the time travel mechanic from that game. Because honestly, I think Sonic CD is one of the worst 2D Sonic games, from the bad level design, the absolute worst boss fights in the whole series, and the time travel mechanic which is just broken. See, the main element of Sonic CD is by using time poles, you can go backwards and forwards in time, that you see 4 different versions of the same level: present, past, bad future, and good future. On paper this sounds great, but the mechanic is done so poorly in that you have to run towards the pole and keep going at that same fast pace for what feels like ages until you finally get sent to the time zone you want. But because the level design is so poor, it's really hard to keep going at that constant speed, and if you so much as bump into something or slow down a tiny bit, you'll lose your chance. So really, it was more hassle than it was worth. So, did Sonic Time Twisted fix the time travel mechanic? Well, more on that later. For now, let's look at the story, which, for both a Sonic game and a fan game, I think is pretty interesting. See, this game takes place in an alternative universe, where after the destruction of the Death Egg in Sonic 3, Dr. Robotnik, aka Dr. Eggman, straight up dies. Looks like this egg got boiled. No, but seriously, did they kill off Eggman? That's fucking dark. And I love it! However, Sonic and his pals get back into action when Metal Sonic returns with a plan to resurrect his creator using ancient alien technology. It's now up to Sonic, or Tails and Knuckles depending on who you choose, to track down Metal and stop the return of Dr. Robotnik, and along the way collect not only the 7 Chaos Emeralds, but the 7 Time Stones. It's a pretty simple plot, but that's perfectly fine, as it fits in line with the kind of plots the Genesis games have. And we all remember what happens when Sonic tries to have an epic and complex story. But, even though our plot is simple, that doesn't stop it from being good, and I find the concept of Metal Sonic trying to resurrect Dr. Robotnik pretty cool. And it does help separate it from the near constantly rehashed plot of stop Eggman from using the Death Egg. I like that it acts as a continuation of Sonic CD, bringing over many elements from that game Time Twisted, like Little Planet, Metal Sonic, and the Time Stones. as it really helps set up the feeling that this is a direct sequel to the official games. Something Sonic 4 failed to do. Now, with the plot of the game done, let's spin dash into the presentation. Presentation-wise, if I could sum up the game in one word, it would be gorgeous. Not gorgeous in the sense that, say, Ori and the Blind Forest is a gorgeous game, which, trust me, is really freaking gorgeous. I'm talking gorgeous in terms of how it's a pitch-perfect visual adaptation of the Genesis games. If you're like me and love not only the Genesis games, but other 16-bit 90s games, then I think you'll really appreciate the game's visuals, music, and the effort put into level design. The game has 8 zones, aka levels. We've got Attraction Attack, Raging Ruins, Frigid Fortress, Viridian Valley, Drifting Dynamo, Tidal Tube, Sunken Saucer, and Planetary Panic Zone. Somebody really loved the alliteration when naming these levels. If I haven't made it obvious yet, I really like the zones this game has, and the level design that comes with it. They do a really good job of bringing back the classic aesthetics that made the classic Sonic games great. The levels also do a great job of complementing the challenging but fun platforming, multiple paths to explore, and of course, the great sense of speed that gamers love when playing Sonic games. And aside from the aesthetic and visual throwbacks to the older official games, the zones in this game are totally original, not recreated levels of past Sonic levels like most fan games do, built practically from scratch with original assets. And while it's probably easier to use older levels, I'm really glad they didn't, as it shows a strong sense of creativity and originality. Something Sonic Team seems to have forgotten. The zones feel unique to each other, each with their own distinctive visual style and personality, and just flat out look great in art sprite form. And thanks to time travel, you can see 2 different versions of the same level. In a past version of the level, we see a brightly coloured, free of machinery world with a kind of upbeat music. But when you travel to the future, you get greeted by a bleak, industry-like world, and the music gets swapped out for a more harsher or futuristic music piece. In some cases, they look like a completely different level. I had a lot of fun switching between time zones and seeing the changes in the environment, as it really helps further show off the great art style the game has. My favourite example of this is on the level Tidal Tube. Starting out in the future, we see dozens of flaming oil rigs and metallic platforms, but once you speed yourself to the past, you notice an instant change in both tone and visuals, as the once dark, bleak scenery is now swapped for a bright, blue ocean, an army of pirate ships, wooden platforms, and a more upbeat, adventurous song. Stuff like this, and just how great everything looks, means this game has, in my opinion, outstanding art direction, at least for a fan game. Plus, it works well with the story. Every time you're in a Biff Tannen-like future, you're in a timeline where Robotnik comes back and rules the world, turning it into a metallic hell, so you've got pretty good incentive to stop this from happening. When it comes to music and video games, the Sonic series has always been at a high standard, whether it's the 16-bit tunes or the funny lyrical rock and roll songs we get today. For the most part, songs in Sonic games are memorable, suit the level, and just plain fun to listen to. And to my surprise, Sonic Time Twisters actually managed to not only do that, but do it brilliantly. The music in this game is entirely original, composed and performed by gaming musician Hinchy, and keeping in mind that the music was made to fit into the Sonic games, it's absolutely brilliant. They have the same quality music from the Genesis games have. They suit the level, help create a good tone and atmosphere throughout the levels, have plenty of personality, and are just plain fun to listen to. It will get stuck in your head. Now, I know I look like I've been giving this game endless praise, but that's because I only complimented aspects of the game that feel like they deserve it, and will point out the bad stuff this game has. Case in point, the cutscenes. As you can see, the cutscenes leave a lot to be desired. The background art is kind of nice most of the time, but the static, flat art use of the characters is terrible. At least the ones in those crappy CDI Zelda games look to have more effort put into them. Oh god, I can't believe I just said that. Everything else in the presentation section is great, so it's such a shame they didn't put more effort or hire better animators for their cutscenes. But, to be fair, they were made around 3 years ago, and there's only 3 to 4 of them, and at the end of the day, they don't ruin the game overall. Plus, they're better than what I can draw. I'm just the worst artist. If you're a fan of the Genesis games, specifically Sonic 3 and Knuckles, then I have a feeling you're going to like the gameplay a lot. Just like Sonic 3 and the upcoming Sonic Mania, you have the choice of playing Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and each character has differences from each other. Just as you would expect, Sonic is the fastest, Tails can fly, and Knuckles is the slowest and has the worst jump, but can glide and climb walls. But outside of the basics, each has their own unique tricks. These characters have their own unique pros and cons when it comes to exploring the levels, and makes for some good replayability value.
I found you! Faker!
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you eat those words!
One of the game's main selling points was its intention to have physics and gameplay extremely close to the original games, and as someone who's played a lot of them, I say they pretty much nailed it. The fluid speed, momentum, and platform-focused gameplay is a complete match to the Genesis games, and just as fun. So fans of the classic game should appreciate that, as well as the returning power-ups and shields, 3 of which are brand new, made for this fan game, and help add an extra level of variety and originality to the gameplay. With the exception of Sunken Saucer, the zones in this game each have 2 acts, and as Sonic veterans will know, there's a boss fight at the end of each second act. But in some cases, Metal Sonic will spring a surprise attack on you at the end of Act 1, in a tricky but fun mini-boss. Now, let's talk time travel. Early in this review, I talked about how I was dreading the fan game reusing a time travel mechanic from Sonic CD, but thankfully, this game fixed it by making it actually workable. Now, the time travel is a lot more simple and instant to use. Just find a time pole, run out with enough speed, and instead of forcing you to keep your momentum, you'll be instantly sent to the time zone you want. Now, instead of 4 possible time areas to visit, it's just 2, but that's fine, as it really makes it a lot more manageable. You'll need to visit both the past and future timelines in order to collect both the Chaos Emeralds and the Time Stones. Just like Sonic 3, hidden in the acts are gold warp things that take you to a special area where you have a chance to win a Chaos Emerald if you're in the future, or if you're in the past, you'll get a Time Stone. These special acts are 3D courses where you have to avoid obstacles and beat Metal Sonic in a race to win. It's often the case that when it comes to special zones in Sonic games, they're either hit or miss. The special zone in Sonic 1 is weird, hard to control, and really feels out of place with the rest of the game. Sonic's 2 special act is better, and its concept has been revisited a lot, but it gets too hard once you're down to a few more emeralds. The Blue Sphere act in Sonic 3 is fun and more manageable, but most people will feel sick after looking at it for a while, and a special act in Sonic CD is just, What the hell am I even meant to do? This is bullshit! To my surprise though, I prefer the special act in this fan game than the official ones in the classic games. The idea makes a lot more sense and is fun. That being said, it does have its fair share of problems, like the frame rate drop, being forced to press the forward button the whole time, and the uprising level of difficulty. It is possible to beat them all, but you will probably die a lot. It can get frustrating and even feels unfair at times, but unlike the official games, it gives you more than one shot at having another go in return for exchanging lives. So if you have enough and really want these emeralds, you can keep exchanging them until you finally get it right. And I feel that the reward is worth all the frustration. If you collect them all, you'll get the final boss fight and secret ending. If you collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you become Super Sonic. And if you collect all 7 Time Stones, you become Chronos Sonic. I'm just kidding, they do pretty much nothing except for give you a better ending, just like they do in Sonic CD. You suck, Time Stones! Just like other Sonic games, except for Sonic Generations, being Super Sonic is awesome. This is the kind of reward players want in a game. Just as long as you keep collecting rings, you're near indestructible and get to go at the fastest speeds possible and looking good while doing it. You can now really blast through the levels and helps to make the gameplay twice as fun. Just as long as you're not in super form when you do platforming. Overall, the game has a satisfying rise in difficulty as the game progresses. Not downright hard, but just difficult enough for you to bring your A game and test for your platform skills. But if you've played a Sonic game before, you can manage it. Once you pass Tidal Tube Zone, you get to go underneath the level and find a crashed alien mothership underwater. Going inside, you arrive too late to stop Metal Sonic from bringing Robotnik back to life like some alien Frankenstein. Suddenly, the whole of Little Planet becomes Mustafar, and as you run through this lava-soaked level, you see shots of a giant passing shadow cast onto Earth. It's a really effective way of amping up the atmosphere and vaguely letting you know what's coming up next. After a while, you find a beaten up Metal Sonic and get ready for one last match with him. Oh yeah? You You gonna try and stop me, Metal? At this point, I think a sudden breeze could destroy you. What the shitty fuck? Sega Genesis blast processing, gotta go fast, no gonna kinder foreshaft! Mars Bro, Galactus River, Dead Hedgehog, Kissing Bridges, fucked up, deviant is this? Okay, so maybe this weren't my exact words when I first saw this boss, but bottom line is, what the hell happened to Eggman? Damn, that's perfect timing.
Alien technology. Not even once. Once.
This boss fight with a superpowered Eggman is awesome! You've got to scale the space debris, dodging energy blasts and eye lasers, with the only time you get to hurt him is when you hit his nose? Okay. Even when you do beat him, it's bad news, because without collecting all the emeralds, you get the bad ending. Galactus Eggman is still out there, and Little Planet is left in ruins, with Sonic's planet to be next. Well, shit. That's a depressing ending. Well, good night, everybody! Ow. Sonic. Tails. May I think. Those purple twins whose names I don't remember. Dave. Davey and Tan. No. No. Don't do it, Eggman. Don't do it. No! No. No! I won't let these cringy, one-dimensional characters die, damn it. I won't! As I said earlier, the reward for collecting all emeralds and stones is worth it, because this secret boss is what Sonic fans want from a final boss. Super Sonic in space. Dodge lasers and asteroids, keep collecting rings before they drain to zero, killing you, and get close enough to Super Eggman to hit him right in the nose? What is with this game making noses the greatest weakness? The final level has the right amount of epicness and difficulty to it, and brings a satisfying ending to a great game. Whoa! Did his face just blow up? Holy crap! I straight up blew up Eggman! You can even see his blood and body chunk just floating in space! Damn! I don't think they'll let this happen in real Sonic games. So, after that, sudden dark turn, using a time stone, Sonic fixes Little Planet, and him and his friends head up to destroy any remaining robots until Mobius is completely free. Hell yeah, Sonic! Hell yeah! Sonic Time Twisted is an absolute blast to play. The developers did a brilliant job of not just resurrecting the great things about what people loved about the classic 90s games, but expanding upon it with original concepts and creative ideas that mix well with the Sonic formula, a fun throwback to the 2D games. It's so great seeing a fan game do what Sonic Mania intends to do months before that game is released. The biggest flaws this game has would be the static cutscenes and more frustrating, almost unfair moments the game will give you from the special stages and awkward enemy placement. But they're easy to forgive because of how great everything else is. If you love the originals for their visuals, level design, speed, art sprite, music, and everything else, then by rights you should really enjoy this game too, as it perfectly adapts those elements. It genuinely feels like something Sonic Team could have made in the 90s, and a true sequel to Sonic 3. This game is more Sonic 4 than Sonic 4! This game is definitely the best fan game I have ever played. Hell, it's better than some actual official Sonic games. In fact, I feel guilty knowing people can get this game for free, because I feel that the quality of this game is so good, I'd be actually willing to pay for it. It's made me really interested in Overbound Games' upcoming original project, No More Robots, and any potential games they do after. Just hope it takes less than 12 years to make this time. For fans of the classic Sonic games, I can't recommend this enough. If you like the originals, then by right, you should really like this one as well. And for those who have never played Sonic games before, well, seeing as this is a free to download game, this should be your best place to start. In conclusion, this is a solid game. It should raise the standards for other fan games. It's a love letter to fans of classic Sonic. And best of all, it's testament to what patience and passion can achieve. And with that, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much for watching my first review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you want me to make more, and I would really appreciate a comment what you enjoyed or where I could improve. I do appreciate feedback. And again, thanks for watching. I hope I got you interested in the game and gave you some chuckles along the way. Mustache